Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. Thank you for your patience and your understanding. We're starting a little bit late today, but better late than never. All right, beautiful people, we're going to jump right in because I am hungry. And so I'm giving 45 minutes today. 45 minutes is what we are going to take. We're going to get through as many questions as possible. Hello, Vision. Welcome, Pretty Brown. Get Fit with Tiff. How are you? Sheba Baby, thank you for joining. OMC, Sofheart, thank you. Yellow Cake Mix, I like that name. Thank you for joining. We have Brittany that's on here. Thank you so much. Celestial C, thank you. Amazon Goddess, Key Desires, I appreciate all you. Thank you all for joining. All right, so how does this whole thing work? If you are new to my page, my name is Alison. I am a certified dating and relationship coach. I have a bachelor's degree in education. I have a master's degree in counseling. I have a master's degree extension in mental health counseling. This is not an effort to boast, but if we are going to have conversations about something super serious like this, I need you guys to know that even though some of this is my opinion, it's also based on expertise and it's also based on experience, okay? So we can respectfully disagree, but what we're not going to do is undermine my authority on my page because you will be introduced to the block party. Had a lot of fun doing some block parties today, okay? How does this work? So every week on Tuesday around this time, I post this same story, this same green story with me in a green shirt every time. What you do is whatever question you have, you are going to go ahead and you are going to drop it in the box right here. If it doesn't fit in the box, you're going to make it fit, or you could click the link in my bio and you can book a session, okay? You're going to book a session because that means that there's a lot more context, then you need more support than what I could offer you here live. Hello, the wife coach. Thank you for joining, okay? All right, beautiful people, let us get right into this because I'm hungry and I'm going to be eating in the next 45 minutes. All right. Our first question is, should I wait to start dating when I start law school next year or get on the apps now? Should I wait to start dating when I start law school next year or get on the apps now? So there are a couple of different ways that we can answer that question, right? One way that we can answer that question will depend on your age. And so, to be honest, if you are looking to have children and you are looking to have children, especially in wedlock, the older you are, the less time that you have. This is biology. This is Mother Nature. This is Adam and Eve ate the apple. We're mere mortals. I didn't do it. It wasn't me, right? So as a result, depending on how old you are, you may be in a position to wait and finish out school. You may not be, right? So depending on your age, you have to decide for yourself. Are you prepared to delay your dating process by, I don't know how long law school is, y'all, 2 years, 4 years, however long law school is. Are you in a position to do so? If you're in a position to do so and you still have plenty of years, because again, if being married before you being or having a baby, becoming a mom is important to you, that means you need to date. That means you need to be committed. Then you got to be engaged. Then you got to walk down the aisle. You may want to spend some quality time together before you actually have children. All of those things are going to be a factor. So you have to decide for yourself. Now, if children aren't a factor to you, so you're not pressed biologically, you still may be pressed socially, because be reasonable. The older that we are, the more inclined to have less options in the dating pool. This is just stats. This is just math, right? When you were 25, there were tons of people who were 25 years old who was unmarried and available. When you were 28, it's a little bit less because in the 3 years, those people began to get married. When you're 33, it's going to be a little bit less because those people begin to get married. We have to think about it. Now also, in all fairness, folks also get divorced, right? And so folks might re-enter into the dating scene, whether if they're ready or not, it's a different conversation. But you have to decide. You have to choose what is not the priority, but a priority. If you believe that you can manage having a romantic relationship and going to school, then do it. People have done more. People have had way more complicated lives than going to school and having a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I think you'll be okay, but you have to decide for yourself, okay? If it were me, I would be actively dating while going to school, while working, while doing everything else. That's what I would do, all right? Next question. Advice on my insecurities regarding my boyfriend being shorter than me. I'm not leaving him, by the way. Good, because that would be a foolish move to leave someone because of their height, especially, well, the foolishness alone is because of their height. And then secondly, you knew what the height was, so why would you leave now? So good. I'm glad that that's established. Advice on my insecurities regarding my boyfriend being shorter than me. I will say this, and I'd love to see the comments roll in and I can read it off and we can share our thoughts together. My clinical response is suck it up. My clinical response is suck it up. What is the insecurity exactly? I don't get it. What, people are looking at you? You feel as though they think that you are less than because your boyfriend is shorter than you. What are you concerned about? The opinions of others? Well, if you're concerned about the opinions of others when it comes to your boyfriend being shorter than you, then that means you're concerned about the opinions of others of lots of folks overall. And that's a bigger concern that's not necessarily attached to the boyfriend. That's a concern that you have to do in your life, where we cannot live our lives based on the opinions and judgments of others. We can't. If you think that you are going to live a life that's successful, however, you are concerned about the opinions of others, then you're going to have a very difficult time. And so I would say that the issue isn't his height, but the issue is you feeding into the opinions of others. What's the issue? Right? Like what? I really don't get it. Like, I'm not trying to be smart. Like, I really don't get it. I had a friend that said she could not respect a man who's the same height or shorter. Hey, we all have our preferences. I'm sure, there's gentlemen out here that want women with a particular physique. There are men out here that have their preferences too. But I hope that this particular friend of yours is not judgmental when she's rejected because she doesn't fit whatever the mold is by some gentleman who may come across her. You can have whatever preference you want. You can have whatever biases you want, but make sure that you respect everyone else's. One of the pieces of advice was to wear kitten heels. If that helps. I don't know how drastic the height difference is, but there are plenty of people who are in successful relationships where their male partner is shorter than them and their partner doesn't love them any less or appreciate them any less because of it. You need to be concerned about how you're being treated and how you're valued and whether or not you're giving that value than the opinions of others. Like, that is absolutely not going to get you anywhere. Okay. So many people are trying to impress others. People miss out on the best gifts because they don't like how it was packaged. Okay. So let's keep moving, beautiful people. How long into dating should things start to progress into something serious? It's been 5 months. How long into dating should things start to progress into something serious? It's been 5 months. All right. So this is the recommendation that I give to my clients in my coaching program. Because obviously I'm lacking some context here, so I'm going to try to fill in the gaps a little bit. If you are having daily conversations with someone, so that means that you're texting every day, and that means that you're talking maybe every other day. You're spending quality time together on a weekly basis, either physically going out on dates or going over to each other's house or maybe even sleeping over. At this point, we're talking about 5 months, right? If that's what floats your boats, no judgment, right? It's all good. If that's the case, and it's been 5 months and we talk every day and we're together at least once a week every week, both parties should be able to decide within that 5-month period whether or not we're going to see each other exclusively, which would be the progress, right? Like, we're going from dating to seeing each other exclusively. We're not seeing anyone else. We're not spending romantic quality time with anyone else. We're not sleeping with anybody else. That would be the next logical step in an adult romantic relationship. Within 5 months, we should be able to make that decision. I actually recommend to my clients, in the scenario that I just created, within 3 months, we talk every single day. We're together at least once a week, every week. If you haven't decided that I think that this person is worthy of me disconnecting with any other person that I've been having conversations with or going out with and only dedicating my romantic time to her, emphasis on romantic time, not your whole life, right? But I'm only dedicating my romantic time to her. I'm only dedicating my romantic time to him. I don't understand why anyone would need more than 3 months to make that decision. Now, let's create another scenario. the person that you're dating is a truck driver, the person that you're dating is long distance, then you may not be able to talk every day. You may not be spending quality time every week. And so that process is going to be elongated because you're not in a position to build at the same speed as someone who lives in the same town and has the same amount of time. So your circumstances are going to impact the ability to build a relationship. That's the case with your friendships. That's the case with your siblings. Right? Like, that's just what it's going to be. So we have to keep that in mind and be practical on, am I comparing my circumstances that are very different to someone else's and then expecting the same result? That's impractical. But on the average, normal, we live in the same town. We both work 9 to 5. We have the ability to speak every day. We spend quality time together. I'm not saying that you should be married in 3 months. I'm not saying you should be having a baby in 3 months, but I think that you should say to yourself, out of all of the gentlemen or out of all of the ladies that I'm seeing, this one is the one who seems to be presenting in a way that I'm looking for that next step of commitment. If that guy wants commitment, if that girl wants commitment, we're also being presumptuous here. Maybe they don't want commitment. Maybe they don't want commitment with you. Maybe there's something that you are providing, right? It could be money, it can be sex, it can be affection, right? That's why they're holding on. So you have to decide for yourself. But my recommendation in a normal circumstance is 3 months. Within 3 months, adults should be able to decide whether or not they want to be in a committed relationship with this one person. So let me scroll back. I know there was a lot of comments, guys. I'm sorry about that. I kind of went on and on and on. Okay. Men usually know after 90 days whether they like you or not. If it's 5 months, he's probably good right where he's at. So a journey to jubilation. I don't know if you are a gentleman. I can't tell from the name and there's no photo, but I'd love to hear from the other gentlemen, their thoughts and feelings around that. I think that people do vary, but like I said, with any adult, male, female, or otherwise, should be able to make a decision whether or not this person is outstanding enough out of all of the others that this is who they want to commit to if they want to commit. Emphasis on if, okay? Let's keep going. How long should one wait to be intimate when dating? I've answered this question a few times, beautiful people, and this is going to vary based on your age, your experience, your religious beliefs, your cultural. I cannot answer that question. My name is Alison. I'm a certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve, but I do not have the answers for everything. You as an individual have to decide what's best for you, where your comfort level is, how old you are. And I know that might sound ridiculous, but people tend to move a little fast when they're younger, slow down in the middle, move a little faster when they're older. Young, maybe because they're naive, older because they're mature, they want to wait it out, more mature because time is of the essence. I don't know. But I cannot answer that question. That is going to depend on so many different factors. And for some people, they make decisions based on how they feel about that individual. So they may go on a date with a gentleman and have sex with him on the first night. I already shared with y'all on my page this morning that I absolutely do not think that's a good idea. However, some folks may do that. And then that same woman will date that guy for a couple of years. Let's say they break up. She dates someone else. She chooses to wait 6 months. That same woman might date that guy for a couple of weeks, go out with somebody else and wait 3 days. There are too many factors to answer that question. And I would be a liar if I pretended as though I was in a position to answer every question. Absolutely not. You have to decide. Official Rich Diggs. First of all, thank you for the badge. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. He says a man will know within a few weeks if he's serious about you and actually looking for a committed relationship. Thank you for that. Key Desires says she may have not made it clear what she wants either. Absolutely. And you guys know I talk about that every day. You have to make it abundantly clear in life. You need to make it abundantly clear what you want out of it. Like, you need to speak aloud what your desires are and then put action behind it. What they say, closed mouths don't get fed, right? I'm about to get fed in 32 minutes. Closed mouths don't get fed. You have to be willing to open your mouth and express to the world what you're looking for depending on the circumstances. I remember, let me take a step back. I told you guys that I went to undergrad and I was in education. And then I became a school counselor. As soon as I started teaching, I'm like, I want to become a counselor, right? So I went back, I got my master's degree in counseling. I went on Facebook and I posted, hey guys, I just graduated with my degree in school counseling. Is there anyone here who knows about school counseling positions? If so, please let me know. This idea that we're too afraid to speak aloud to the world what we're looking for because the haters are going to get us or whatever. Good luck, Chuck. Because God already has a vision for my life. I already have a vision for my life, and nobody's stronger than me and my God together. So y'all can't do me nothing. We have to speak aloud what we want out of our lives. Speak it aloud. Now, I'm not saying you have to put a Facebook post and say, I'm looking for a husband, where y'all at? But you should be having conversations with the people that you're dating early in the game. And you have to say, this is the vision I have for my life. This is what's going to happen for me. You're not going to jinx it. Hey, jinx schminks. There's no jinx. This is what I want. And everything that I've said out loud that I've wanted, I've gotten. And I'm not no voodoo witch doctor. Right? So clearly there's something to say about expressing to the right people what you want out of life and then doing the work in order to get there. Does that make sense? So in regards to relationships, you should be speaking to the people that you're dating and making it abundantly clear what you desire, what your vision is, what life you're going to have. And then you should also be doing the work in order to get there, meaning you're going out socially, you're going on dating apps. You are becoming that person that you want. You say that you want to be a wife. You say that you want to be a mother, right? However you may define that. I am not here to define that for you. But whatever that vision looks like for you, what is a wifedom? What is motherhood? Begin to practice those things. Become that person. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. Y'all love that. But he found a wife. She was already a wife before he put the proverbial non-biblical ring on her finger, right? You have to become that husband. You say, oh, I'm going to be a great father. I'm going to be a great husband. But whatever that vision is for you, and again, I don't want to infiltrate and put, right? But I'm just going to give an example just for the sake of example. No judgment. I would imagine that a good father and a good husband is someone who doesn't spend money frivolously, right? He's not in the club popping bottles. He's not making it rain on them hoes. Like, he's someone who is very particular about his spending habits. A good husband and a good father, right? Just an example, no judgment. So if I were a man who wanted to be a husband and a father, I'm going to begin to get my finances in order. I'm going to begin to follow a budget. I'm going to begin to live the type of lifestyle that is indicative of however I have chosen to define husbandry and fatherhood. Does that make sense? Again, I'm just trying to paint a picture. I'm not judging those who make it rain on them hoes. Because I used to. I went to Sue's Rendezvous. Y'all not from New York. Y'all with me, right? So the point is that we have to be what we want to become so that we can become that. We have to put in that work. Okay? Let's keep it moving, beautiful people. Next question. What is an appropriate... Y'all love asking me these time questions, and I be answering it every week. I'm going to need y'all. This is what I need y'all to do. If you are new to my page, I want you to follow me and follow me now. Then what I want you to do is to check out the live stream. Just have it playing in the background. I put it on YouTube. Align with Alison on YouTube. When you at work, play in the background. Because I be answering the same questions every week, y'all. Come on now. What is an appropriate timeline of establishing titles? Rewind this video. You're going to get the answer for that. All right, beautiful people, let's keep it going. All right, this is from a gentleman. I love questions from gentlemen. Oh, gosh, guys, I really appreciate when the gentlemen participate because this is not this quiet, this cold gender war. This is not what we do, at least on my page, right? Like, this is something where I want participation on both ends. I need folks to have communication so that we can get to a better result. That better result means healthy, happy relationships, right? And for me, one of my personal goals for all of the people who are a part of the Land of Love community, all of the people who are direct clients, is that I want happy Black people who produce happy Black children and who can really institute some change in our society and world. And it starts with the relationship amongst the adults. It starts with the communication amongst the adults. So this is not a war. This is an opportunity for us to work out whatever issues we have. Let's get to a resolution so we can move forward as a society and as a people, as a community. right? That's the goal. I know y'all ain't asked all that, but that's the goal, okay? So I'm so happy when gentlemen join the live. I'm so happy when gentlemen converse with us, when they communicate, when they share respectfully. And let's continue to do it, people, okay? Question from the gentleman or gentleman. Is lack of affection a red flag? Is lack of affection a red flag? So there's conversations around the love languages. I am a believer in the 5 love languages, right? However, when you read the book, when you take the quiz, you are to prioritize by answering the quiz questions, which love languages are the most important to you. For some people, affection is everything. So for me and Andrew, affection is everything, right? Like if he's not slapping my butt, if he's not giving me kisses, if he's not rubbing me down, like I need all of that, because that's how I interpret that someone loves me, that he loves me and that I love him. He wants the kisses, he wants all of that. That's important to us. Some people don't value affection. Some people see gift giving as representative of true love. You thought of me. It doesn't have to be an expensive gift, or it could. You thought of me. You went out and you purchased this gift and you presented it to me, right? I know people love to say I'm all 5 love languages. Some things are not as important as other we need to prioritize. If Andrew never bought me a gift again, I would not die. If Andrew let me walk past him 3 days in a row and didn't slap my butt, we need to go to counseling. We are calling, I just saw him on the live, we're calling Talk to Mac therapist because something is wrong in our relationship. If he calls me Alison and I call him Andrew, something is wrong, right? So you have to decide what the priority is, because no one is going to show up as all parts all the time. That's not practical. No one is going to show up as all of those things all the time. That's not practical. We have to bring practicality back into our romantic lives and into our lives, period. Take the quiz, prioritize what matters most, okay? So back to the question at hand, because the gentleman is on here. I want to make sure that I answer his question. Lack of affection, a red flag. So for you, you may decide that whoever you date must be someone who is affectionate, because that is how you interpret and appreciate love the most. Like me, like Andrew, like millions of other people. So I don't know if I would call it a red flag per se. It would be a red flag for you because you know that it's something that you must have, okay? But for others, they may say that that's amazing. That goes back to one of the major points I love to make, beautiful people. Many times it's not that somebody ain't ish and that person is trash and blah, blah, blah. It's just that they're not an appropriate match for you. They are not delivering in the way that you would like. But it doesn't mean that they're not an amazing person for somebody else. So a red flag for you, yes. But I don't want to use the term red flag like if you are not affectionate, then you are just a evil little devilly person. That's just not the way that you present. But you may present through acts of service. And someone else may appreciate that so much. He washes my car. He cooks for me. He rubs my feet. He does stuff. She does stuff. She's not necessarily the most kissy person, but I know she always shows up for me because she's there all the time and is proactively thinking of my needs, and she's presenting in a way that shows me she loves me through acts. So that's how we have to decide. Okay, so you have to decide if that's a red flag for you. For me, para mí, counseling. Okay, next question. What are some of the best ways to move forward after a breakup? What are some of the best ways to move forward after a breakup? So the best way to move forward after a breakup is to click the link in my bio. I have 2 freebies waiting for you. I have the book, Move On Sis. It is a 5-step approach that is going to teach you how to move on from a relationship that's not serving you. Again, doesn't mean that people are devils and evil and all that kind of foolishness. Like, what you're going to do is you're going to click the link in my bio. You're going to follow those steps. I also have a whole hour-and-a-half training called From Breakup to Boot Up, how you can move on from a relationship that did not serve you back into the dating scene. You're going to watch that training. And if you still need more support, you are then going to book a session so that we can talk about how I can handhold and coach you through this breakup. But you always try the freebies first. Click the link in my bio, free ebook, free training, and then from there you go. Thank you. No Limit Consultant says click the link in her bio. Check out the YouTube. All of the answers are there. They're all there. Okay? Okay. What's the best way? Actually, let me take a commercial break. and thank those for purchasing a badge. Thank you, Wellington Event Rentals, IB Minter, I hope I got that right, Japa Black, Official, Rich Diggs, and Guyanese 48. Thank you so much for purchasing the badge. I really appreciate all of you. Okay. So next question. This was a good question. When I saw it come in, I said, ooh. Cheated in marriage, now divorced. He wants to date me. Should I even consider? Cheated in marriage, now divorced. He wants to date me. Should I even consider? So, as you guys know, in order to get your questions asked or answered, you asked me, you have to go into my stories every Tuesday for 24 hours from Tuesday to Wednesday this time. This is the story. You drop the question in there. I answer it, right? But obviously that leaves out context. So some of this stuff I have to be presumptuous and kind of fill in the blank. I am going to assume, and this is not because I assume that men are cheaters. I'm going to tell you why I'm going with the assume, right? I'm going to assume that the gentleman is the one who cheated in this circumstance because it says, should I even consider? As if she's thinking of not considering, as if she was the one who was heartbroken by this circumstance. Cheated in marriage, now divorced. He wants to date me. Should I even consider? My answer may surprise you. I see y'all in the comments. My answer may surprise you, and you may disagree. Let me tell you what my answer is. When it comes to any ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-whoever, if you are considering getting back together at any point, I require two things. If it were me, I would require two things. Number one, I need time to have lapsed. Depending on the circumstance, could be 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I need time to lapse. I need the opportunity to have healed through the circumstance to even look at you without wanting to slap you in the face. Yes, every life is saved, transforming Brit. I need that time, right? Like the healing needs to occur. So time has to lapse. Any circumstance, any breakup, number one is time. Number two, I need evidence. I had a English teacher at Boys and Girls High School at Trinidad, and she said evidence. This is when she was talking about us finding evidence in the text. I'm sorry, I'm corny. It's the education in me. Okay, so I need evidence that this person is a changed human being. Again, no matter the circumstance in which we broke up, whatever the reason is that we broke up, I need proof that this person is no longer going to show up as that human being. So what does that look like? If I were to break up with an ex, right? Because I ain't breaking up no way, no how, right? The D word is not said in this house. If I were to break up with an ex over cheating, we'll just go with cheating because it's the easiest one, right? What proof and evidence do I have that the behavior has changed? To be honest with you, there is none. So in that circumstance, I'm not given second chances, right? Because I don't have any proof or evidence that there's any changed behavior. If it's a breakup over finances, then is he gainfully employed? Does he now have a 401k? Does he now have investments? Is he now following a budget? Do I see a changed behavior? If I see a changed behavior, then okay. So you have to decide for yourself. Have you had the time to heal? This is when you're considering getting back with any ex. Have you had the time to heal? And is the reason for the breakup resolved? Did you break up because it's long distance? Now it's short distance. There you go, right? This particular case, I feel like it is very difficult to prove that this person has changed the behavior. This is not me being against or targeting cheating per se. If there were any reason why a couple broke up and I don't have evidence to prove that the behavior has changed, ergo, I cannot give you a second chance because why would I put myself in the same circumstance without any proof? So I am going to answer the question kind of the way that you guys anticipate. I would not give someone who cheated on me a second chance. However, it's not because it's cheating per se. It's because in order for me to recommend for anyone to give someone a second chance in anything, To me, this person needs to prove that the behavior has changed, and I can't imagine how someone can prove that. They could prove something else. The reason why we broke up is because, I don't know, I said money, I said distance. Give me something else, and I can give you an example. Cheating, how can I prove that this is not going to happen again? And what I won't do is be a fool to make the same mistake twice. It's the whole fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me kind of thing. So, no, I would not. Let's see what the comments say. Long as there's a transcript of better behavior, then possibly consider it. Yes, if there's proof of change, right? Official Rich Diggs says cheaters don't change, they just get better, and that's for real. Tay says, I'm good on that cheating stuff. I'll forgive, but the other woman can just have him, but that's just me though. Okay? And I'm sure that that's pretty much the same sentiment that's being repeated over and over and over. Cheating or staying cheating, you're putting my sexual health at risk too, and that's a no for me, dog. I absolutely agree with you. I think that cheating is so much more than just having sex with someone else. It's the lying, it's the deceit. You told me you were one place, you were someplace else. It's definitely problematic. Oh, yes. Domestic violence, there's no proof of that. You could go to all the therapy you want to go to. You're not whooping my ass twice. Okay? Okay. We got... Y'all trying to throw questions in here at the last minute, and that is not going to happen. I love y'all, though. I really do. I love y'all. Because I need to eat. I'm hungry. 25 minutes. Align with Alison. I feel like she needs to change as well. What led to the cheating? There's usually signs leading to unfaithfulness. Boundaries were broken. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, so definitely there should be some reflection in regards to what this person did to contribute to the relationship or the lack thereof, right? The destruction of the relationship, so that that's not repeated again. Depends on why they cheated. I don't think so. I have to respectfully disagree with you, Joseph. What's the why? Like, you got to communicate or leave me. But I don't think there's any excusing away that kind of behavior, that kind of deceit. Okay? Why do men treat you like a girlfriend when you're not in a relationship? Why do men treat you like a girlfriend when you are not in a relationship? Well, first of all, I would like to say that if you have not a boyfriend, a guy that you're seeing who's treating you like a girlfriend, meaning that I assume that he treats you with respect, he takes you out, he spends quality time with you, why are we complaining? Unless the complaint is that he's unwilling to commit, and so I add that piece on. So he's willing to treat you like a girlfriend, but he's unwilling to commit to you. That might be for a variety of reasons, right? Like why he's unwilling to commit, it may be something that has turned him off to committing to you specifically. It may be that he has no interest in commitment. He wants the flexibility to move around. Someone says it's because you're giving up the pee. I mean, there's plenty of people who give up the pee. That doesn't mean that they have to treat the person well, right? So I wouldn't say it's that alone. But I'm assuming that you're saying the problem is that you're being treated like a girlfriend, but you want the commitment and you can't get it. This person just may not be emotionally in a position to commit at all or to commit to you. But what you have to decide is, if this is problematic for you, are you going to stick with it? That's your choice. He's not holding a gun to your head. So if it's such a bother for you that he treats you well or with respect, right? However, he's not giving you the level of commitment that you desire, then you have to decide to move on. If you don't decide to move on, then don't complain. Good? What does he mean about he's never been in love? He's hesitant to date, but wants to be married. I don't know. He's weird as hell and he's confused. He doesn't want to. You know what? Actually, let me correct that. There are plenty of women that I've spoken to have said the same thing, and I have chewed them out. Because it doesn't work like that. Unless you have an audition for 90 Day Fiancé or what's Married at First Sight, you have to go through a process. And why would you not want to? Like, in what world would anyone want to be committed physically, emotionally, financially to someone and not gone through a vetting process with them? Not had conversations, not spent quality time, not met their family. Like, what world? Like, I cannot wrap my mind around the idea of making such a definitive decision with absolutely no research whatsoever. I just can't. I can't imagine. right? I applied for a job that I can quit in a second. I quit, right? I can quit in a second. I'm going to Google who the CEO is. I want to know what the philosophy of the company is. I want to know what the salary is in advance. I want to know what the ethnic makeup is, what the gender, like, I read reviews. I want to know, did you go to this lady first and got your hair done? How did she treat you? Like, I don't understand why we would rush or be willing to be married but not want to date. It is a part of the process. And if you're not willing to go through that process, get prepared to go through the divorce process. Not that it doesn't happen to people who have vetted, but you're more likely to if you don't. So when he says, what does he mean about never been in love? That's what he means. He's never felt the feeling that he believes is in love. He's hesitant to date but wants to be married. I don't know. Maybe he's looking for his papers. Maybe he needs his papers. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Okay. So I think this is going to be the last one because our show is hungry. He's been consistent with calling daily and sees me weekly to date. Hasn't invited over. Been 4 months. Fishy? Yes. He's been consistent with calls and weekly dates, but he hasn't invited me over in 4 months. That is fishy as hell. Because why not? And not to say that he should be pressing you for sex and that's why, but why not? Right? And I would ask, like, trust me, you guys are my weekly content. I repurpose this, I download it, I put it on YouTube, I cut it up, I make it my reels. I need this. But sometimes y'all ain't got to ask me. Y'all got to ask the people that y'all dealing with. Hey, normally, guys are pretty quick to invite folks over. It's been 4 months and you haven't even mentioned it. Is everything okay at your house? You said you only had a roommate. Is that roommate a wife? Is there a baby there? How they say it? Is your mother living with you, but you're not living with your mother? Like, I need deets. And yes, I need to know, what time do y'all talk every day? I want to know, do y'all talk in the house or y'all talk when you're in the car? Who lives there? Because this is suspicious. But I would just ask. I'd like to know. And it doesn't have to be rude or nasty. You should never be rude or nasty to anyone who hasn't treated you the same way, right? At minimum. You can still treat people with kindness if you choose to. But simply ask. Things are going well. You've been dating for 4 months. Lots of conversation, lots of dates. And he's never invited you over. Like, hey, I've noticed that you've never invited me over your house. You've been to my house a couple of times. Is everything okay over there? Is there somebody else that you're living with that you forgot to mention? This is going to be a really good time for you to tell me. Is it messy? I can help you clean up if you want. Like, have the conversation. But do be mindful of the time that you're speaking and the location. Because this seems questionable. But again, and I love y'all and I appreciate your questions, but don't ask me, ask them. Ask them and see what's said, okay? He says we're locked in, meaning, and I'm sorry, I'm going to be repetitive. Ask him, what do you mean by locked in? Does that mean that we're in a committed relationship where we are only seeing each other? Does that mean that there's exclusivity? I'm not seeing any gentlemen. You're not seeing any ladies. Ask. What does locked in mean? I'm not familiar with that language. I'm interpreting that as committed relationship, not seeing anybody else. Is that what you mean? That's it. Okay? Dating 3 months, weekly dates, 2-hour distance. He's afraid it might cause a rift. Are you afraid that it's going to cause a rift? If you're not concerned and he's concerned and there's no change in the distance, meaning you're not moving closer, then he has a problem with the distance and this is not going to work. Sharika Green says locked in means exclusive. Yeah, but let's just ask. I need to be abundantly clear. I don't want any confusion because then you know how that goes. 6 months later, you find something else. Like, well, you're not my man anyway. You're not my girl anyway. So make sure that you ask. Back to the question. Dating 3 months, weekly dates, 2 hours distance. He's afraid it's going to cause the rift. If you're not concerned about the distance and he is, and that distance isn't going to change, is he concerned so much that he's saying, I don't want to commit as a result of the distance? which I think is some bull, because I don't think 2 hours is bad. However, everyone has to make their own decision. And you need to decide, and he needs to decide whether or not that distance is so problematic that we can't be in a committed relationship. Like, if this is such a problem that a committed relationship won't work. And then you have to decide what you want with that, right? If this person is making it clear to you the distance is a problem, I can't commit as a result. You now have the ball in your court. Thank God that he was honest with you. Thank God that he was forthcoming. Now you have to take the next step and decide for yourself, am I going to continue to date this person knowing he's unwilling to commit due to the distance, which I think is some bull, but whatever, who am I? Nobody to you, right? Or am I going to move on because I know that what I want is a committed relationship that leads to more, and he is either unwilling or unable to deliver what I'm looking for, which is okay. Doesn't make him a bad person, just makes him an inappropriate match for you. Okay, last question. Do you think a woman leading the convo via text or phone may come across as desperation? Quick answer, yes. Long form answer is, I'm not really sure what you mean by leading the convo. Does that mean that you're always the person who texts first? Does that mean that you're always the person who calls first? If that's the case and he is not taking the lead in regards to reaching out to you, checking in on you, communicating with you, getting to know you, getting to build with you, then yes, it does come across as desperation. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding the question appropriately, right? So if you're the one who's always texting first, you're the one who's always picking up the phone to make the call to check in, and you're not receiving that reciprocity, then yes, you would be coming across as desperate. Because I'm not picking up the phone to call anybody all the time first. I don't call my sisters first all the time. I mean, maybe my parents, because they gave birth to me, so I'm like, But other than that, reciprocity. Like, there needs to be I'm not a lawyer, quid pro quo, like an even exchange, right? I go to work, I get paid, they pay me, I go to work. I call you sometimes, you call me sometimes. They pay for dates sometimes, you pay for dates sometimes. Reciprocity. If there's no reciprocity, then guess what, beautiful people? We're not continuing in any relationship. Familial, romantic, professional, or otherwise. If you're not showing up, I'm not showing up. And this is not a tit for tat. This is in regards to making sure that you're protecting yourself and that you are, and he is or she is presenting as someone who's interested in continuing said relationship. If I go to work every day and they don't ever give me a check, that means they're not interested in me working there. They're not in a position to deliver on their end. So absolutely not. Goodbye, and good luck. Now you can ask, you can inquire, I don't know, there might be other circumstances. Maybe you need to do some digging, but based on the question that was asked, yes, it comes across as desperation. I would highly recommend that you stop it. Okay? At this point, I am going to go and I am going to eat, but I do want to thank Faith Crescent for purchasing a badge, as well as everyone else that I shouted out already. I appreciate you guys joining me on this live. I am here every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern-ish to answer your questions. Again, the way that you get your questions answered is by putting it in the story. Do not DM me. If it is too long to fit in the box, that means it is too long for me to answer on the live, which means you need to click the link in my bio and you can book an individual session. But for my folks who need additional support, you need a full-on coaching program so I can walk you through how to move on from a relationship that did not serve you. And so I can walk you through how to navigate dating in 2022. You are going to book a discovery call so we could talk about the program. This is not an opportunity for you to use and abuse people to take advantage of them to get free advice. This is the free advice. Find me on Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern. On that note, have a wonderful evening. The live will be saved, and I will see you guys. I think I have a live later this week. I'll see you later this week, and then I'll see you every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern-ish. Have a nice evening.